Hello and welcome to Netflix vs. Cinema, the podcast that tries to answer the question, should you leave your house to watch something or stay on your couch to watch something? My name is Tosin and I'm the host based up in the middle of the United Kingdom, somewhere called Bromsgrove near Birmingham. And joining me as always on the Isle of Wight is Shaun Harris.
Hello!
Yes, and as we said, what we do on this podcast is that every week we go to the cinema, we see a couple of things, rate them out of 5. We stay at home, watch a couple of things, rate them out of 5. If it's a TV series, we watch the entire series and then rate that out of 5. And then we put them up against each other and we see where money has been better spent this week. There's usually, up to 4 of us, but unfortunately, due to random life things happening, it has just been whittled down to Shaun and I today. So Shaun and I today. But so, Shaun, tell me, what have you seen in the cinema this week?
Okay, well, that wasn't about how I was going to try and catch some others, but like the best of us, time catches on. So really, I've only managed to catch Weapons in cinema this week, so that's all I've seen at the cinema.
Yeah, and I think that if you're going to catch something, that was the one to catch this week. If you're going to watch nothing else, watch Weapons. Watch Weapons this week. And I watched Weapons. I also saw Weapons, and I also saw Freakier Friday, which is
I did look at that one. That was going to be. I probably will try and catch that one. I mean, I can't remember any of the others, but
well, you see, it's that's the thing with Freakier Friday. It's one of these things where, I think that this film is made for it's a kind of film that's made for a certain group of people. Right. They've made it for the people who were kids the first time around when this one came out and are now have grown up with Lindsay Lohan and are now probably around about Lindsay Lohan's age. That's who the film is made for, and I don't think they are that bothered about getting a whole bunch of new people in. So right. But I'll explain that when we get to that. I think that film is not. I essentially wonder how much appeal there is in that film for somebody who is not very invested or familiar with the first with the Jodie Foster version and the first Lindsay Lohan version.
But, right. I mean, the only reason it was to see something else, really, rather than it wasn't for anything in particular. It was just that it's not like, oh, I must see it, but I just thought, because there's not a lot. I hope there's a little bit more coming out the next.
Yeah, there was something I really wanted to see called the Legend of Ochi.
Oh yeah, I saw about that.
And that seemed to be here for like a second and then was gone. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Legend of Ochi, I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, that's in the cinema, I'll go see that. But there was 1 week where the timings didn't quite work and there were 2 other things and I couldn't see 3 things. I said, I'll see it next week. It's gone. I can't find it. I can't find the Legend of Ochi anywhere. But I could probably find it somewhere, but not in the cinema that I have my unlimited card with. So, okay, what about at home? What have we seen at home?
Okay, well, at home I watched, it was from a couple of weeks ago, I did watch Tin Soldier, and I watched another one, a few others, but Tin Soldier, which we spoke about over our little WhatsApp group, which we had
a chat about Tin Soldier. We had a chat.
We did, and I have seen which probably, but because I would like perhaps the girls to actually watch it, but on the BBC iPlayer, because I was over the weekend with their mums, I just caught 1 episode of. And I watched the whole lot. So there's 4 series, and I've watched every episode of a BBC thing called Mandy.
Oh, yes.
I don't normally. I mean, you know me. I'm not like major comedy fan. But I was laughing out loud, Toes. I watched it. I was sat with my mum, and it was just on because she watches the same channel all the time. I thought, oh, this is funny as hell. Really funny. She was laughing too. So I'm laughing, she's laughing, and then so I checked it out on the. I only watched it on the tablet, but it was, I had to watch the whole lot. I was there till about 1 o'clock in the morning in my bedroom.
That's Mandy with Diane Morgan. Diane Morgan. I love Diane Morgan, mostly because of a TV show called Motherland, and it's one of those. Yeah, I think Mandy is. I think anything she does, I'm usually there for. And we'll keep Mandy until
keep Mandy to the girls, and hopefully you'll watch it because there's some. Should we just say like some, so like music videos which she goes into dream sequences of like
I've seen the first episode of it. I've seen at least the first episode, and it's the one with the spiders. Where this one's like, 1 to stun, 2 to kill, 3 to make sure.
I think with it, I just say this because I know we save it, but I think what it is the reason I found it so amusing is because I can imagine situations being like that, you know, in there, because he's basically unemployed and goes to all these different jobs, and you know, smokes in the loo and all that sort of stuff. And I just, so that sort of, you know,
it's a well thought out character, like most of Dan Morgan's are. Okay, cool. So let us kick off then, and let's kick off with, well, the big thing. So we have two things in cinema. We're going to put two things that we've seen on streaming up against that. And let's kick off with the big thing this week, and that is weapons. So this is the second film from a guy called Zach Cregger, who first came to prominence as a comedian. Weirdly enough. Yeah, he was part of a comedy troupe called The Whitest Kids You Know. And his debut movie was Barbarian from a couple of years back, and that's sort of like
Barbarian.
Yeah, and Barbarian had enough of a splash, and so obviously they come with this one. They've given him obviously more money, a wider canvas, and be like, okay, cool, go ahead, go see what you can do when you have a little bit more money. And this is what he's come up with. So this film kicks off, and it kicks off with a voiceover, like a black screen. Just a black screen and just a voiceover of a little girl telling you this is a true story. Now, you won't find any, and it says you won't find any records of this story because the police just hid it because they couldn't figure out what the heck happened. And it tells you the story about how in this town called Maybrook, one day a teacher went to her class like any other day, and out of the 18 kids in the class, only one kid was there, and nobody could figure out where the other kids had gone. And it turns out that at 2:17 the night before, in the middle of the night, the remaining 17 kids in this class all got up off their beds, went out of their houses, and just ran off into the night, and they never came back. And that is the basic premise of the film, that these kids ran away, never came back. What happens? And so obviously it's quite a spooky thing because they have like all these parents had all these Ring door cams that caught their kids running out of the house. And Shaun, you have the poster on behind you, and that is already an iconic picture. I think there's iconic cinematic images, and the kids running with their arms outstretched like they're all trying to be aeroplanes or something like that. That's already an iconic thing, and you're just like all these kids just running out. And so what follows is trying to figure out what happened to these kids and what happens to this town when this happens. So you have a character called a character played by Julia Garner, who plays the teacher in the class, and then you have a parent played by Josh Brolin who's kind of like, why was it her class? Why did it only happen in her class? She must have something to do with it. I'm sure she has something to do with it because obviously his son is missing and he wants to find his son. And then it becomes this there's bits of it where there's almost kind of like a mob mentality that starts going towards the teacher, Justine, saying, what have you done with our kids? Why was it in your class? And all that. And so the film then goes on and tells you the story from about 7 different perspectives. And it follows different characters. You follow Justine, then you follow Archer, then you follow Marcus, like Archer, which is a parent, Marcus, who is a principal of the school. There's a policeman called Paul, played by Alden Ehrenreich. There is a junkie who comes into the thing as well. And it also tells you from the point of view of the kid who was left behind. So it just tells you all these different people, and then it comes together and just sort of builds this picture of what happens, and then builds until it finally tells you this. Now, I am not a fan of horror. I've said it many times on this.
No, I was surprised when I was quite surprised when you said you'd seen this. I was like, wow, good for him.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm not a fan of horror. For me to watch a horror movie, there has to be something intriguing about it, and I think that central premise of all these kids get up and they just run off into the night, that is a cracker. It is a cracker of a central premise. So much so that because this film is doing quite well, and as we keep talking about like Sinners earlier this year, a film that wasn't based on a pre-existing IP, wasn't like a sequel or a reboot or anything like that, doing this well it's a bit rare nowadays. And I think it's because of the central premise. That central premise is just such a cracker. The cinema I was in was packed, man. It was packed. People coming to see this film. Yeah. And there are bits of this film that were hard for me to watch. There are bits of this film that were hard for me to watch, especially because the central thing about this film is about kids in peril. And I feel like before I became a parent, it wouldn't have affected me as much. But there's bits.
Much, yeah. No, I can relate to that.
Oh, there's bits, especially. Oh man, Shaun. I mean, there's a bit where they go to the bit where they tell you from the point of view of the kid who was left behind. My God, that section, man.
I know.
That section, I was like, oh, please, somebody help, somebody do something.
That's what I mean. It's horrible when you think about what could happen in the silence, how people could be scared. Like if you had your own kids and something nasty was happening to them, you'd just be so terrified because and
it's totally believable that all that stuff happened. Like because one of the big thing I would say is that in this film I kept forgetting I was watching a horror movie. I was because this film, it's like, okay, it's on the headline is a horror movie, but then when it goes into it, half the time you think you're just watching a drama about this town, a drama about these families, a drama about all this good, and then every now and then it reminds you that it's a horror movie, and you're like, oh crap, I forgot about that. I forgot. And so it's like it's almost like, like a child abduction story, just playing along, like almost a detective story playing along, and everybody like, oh no, sorry, horror movie. Oh, why does she look like that? and I was sat down there after the film finished going, I think this is excellent. Because sorry, go ahead, Shaun, I've been talking for too long.
No, I was just saying, from that point of view, it was like the you could understand, it was believable, wasn't it? That with the one that was left, the one child, the only child, you can understand his thinking. You can understand. You can understand what it's like he is. And I really liked it from the different points of view. I really liked it when he.
Yes.
I thought that worked incredibly well with.
I think so. And I think the thing that they did is because obviously when you talk about people talking about things from different points of view, the immediate comparison is Rashomon. But I think that the clever thing this does is that it doesn't just play the exact same incidents from different points of view. It shows you different points of view that intersect at certain points. Yeah. But and they all intersect at different points. They show you different points of view. But and I just thought it was good. I thought everybody in this film was great.
The acting was class. I mean,
even the
girl
kids.
Who played the teacher, I'm not sure.
Julia,
I've seen her in other things, but
you've seen her in other things. You've seen her very recently in Fantastic Four. She was the Silver Surfer.
Wow! Is that her?
That is her. She's having quite a summer. It's Fantastic Four and Weapons. Yeah. So Julia Garner, she was.
She looked familiar. I've really seen her anything else. I was thinking, I know her.
I don't recognize you when you're not covered in silver and you have your clothes on. So it's like but I thought this one was really, really effective. And then I don't know about you, Shaun, but the final bit of the film, I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious, and it was one of those things where you're watching it going, because some deeply
it's like Parasite. Do you remember that film Parasite?
Yes, like Parasite. Like Parasite. Like everything what's happened just before that is so deeply messed up. Like I actually texted everybody after I was just saying weapons is messed up in capital letters, and what happens is just so messed up. And then this thing happens, and then as you're watching it, you're going, I think I'm supposed to laugh. I think I'm supposed to laugh. And then in the cinema, because obviously there were loads of people in this cinema, there were over 100 people in this cinema, and then somebody started laughing, and everybody else started laughing, and everyone just started laughing because the stuff that happens at the end, it is shot in almost like this film's turned into a comedy, and it's supposed to be funny, and then something horrific happens again. But I think it's a very, very well made film. As I was watching it, I was like, I'm not sure if I'm enjoying this, but I wasn't sure it was because it was too real.
The one issue I had was but then they sort of explained it in the narrative, when the narrative was the police were pretty damn incompetent.
Yes.
And that does say that, they won't publicise it, because I did have that. I was thinking, oh my God, they would be all over that. They would be all over that. But,
I know exactly what you're talking about. Obviously, we're trying very hard not to spoil it. But there is, when you think about the premise of the film, everything happens like all these kids, everybody disappears in this classroom but the teacher and this kid. There are some obvious questions that you would immediately want to ask. There's some obvious questions you immediately want to ask. And I was kind of like watching the film going, why are they asking that question? Why are they asking that? Come on, that's an obvious question. Why are you bothering this person when that person, you should also be bothering them? And it's like, and then they got to the point and I was like, okay. I was like, okay. And this is the kind of film that should never have a sequel.
No, I hope it never does.
It should never have a sequel. And I feel like the way they ended it off, like it's kind of real, and it's a bit downbeat, but also kind of hopeful, but everything like that. And it's kind of thing that makes you say cheesy things like, well, I guess that's just like life. But I thought this was a very well made film. I thought it was a very well made film. If more horror films were made like this as opposed to slasher rubbish, I'll be for it.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there, Toes. I thought it was really well put together. I thought it was acted incredibly well. Yeah. And I thought, as I say, the actress's name, I really like her. I rate her quite highly.
Yeah, Julia Garner is brilliant.
She played her part really well, especially with the bar scenes and stuff, you know. And
yes.
And I just thought, this is good. Brolin was good. And even the young lad, the survivor was
the kid, Kerry Christopher. He was very good. He was, because he has a whole section of the film that he carries. He carries a whole section of the film, and there was not one moment that you thought, ugh, child actor. You just thought, oh my god, I'm with this kid. That is terrifying. That is terrifying, it even has a bit of catharsis at the end where you're kind of like, yes, do it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you totally on that. Yeah, I thought it was a good watch. This one, it was a good watch. It was quite nice, different, and worked well.
Okay, so the gnarly question: how many stars?
I'm going to give this a 4-star for me. This gets 4 stars for me. Because I thought it was really, really well good. The only thing that I could knock is the police, but they do say that at the beginning, the story at the beginning. Like, you know, they don't want to say because of the.
It is. Yeah, and the only reason I'm pausing is because I'm trying to figure out if it's a 4 or 5.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was close, and that's the only thing that brings it down is competence. But otherwise, Toes. It looks to me, I can see on your explanation, your body language and everything else, you really, really enjoyed that. And you rarely give a 5. So I think this could be.
I think it's a 5. I think it is.
Yeah, I think
I don't know whether I'd say. I don't know whether I'd say I enjoyed it, but I really rate it.
Yeah, rate it.
I really rate it.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to go for 5. And it's weird for somebody who doesn't like horror. The 2 films that I would say are head and shoulders above all the other ones I've seen this year are essentially horror films: Sinners and Weapons.
Just remember, don't have your hair cut.
Oh God! Oh my God! That scene, man! That scene in the car! Oh, that scene was so masterfully done. When you're like, oh my God, no! And if you watch Weapons, you will know what we're talking about. Yeah. But my God, even if you're not a horror fan, I would say go watch this film. It is well worth it. And we could talk more, but I don't think we can talk more without spoiling the life out of that. So let us move on and let us go to what we've seen at home. And I'm going to talk about K-Pop Demon Hunters.
K-Pop Demon Hunters, eh?
K-Pop Demon Hunters. We are late to this. We are late to K-Pop Demon Hunters because this is a phenomenon. This is like Netflix keeps saying, "Oh, this is one of the most watched things." Blah blah blah. And you never know whether Netflix are lying to you because they don't show you. You don't know how they're counting their numbers and how many millions of people have watched this. What you do know is that this film has a soundtrack. It has 6 songs on the soundtrack, and these songs have just been climbing the charts. Then one of the songs from this film, Golden, was number 1 for 2 weeks, a couple of weeks ago, and that tells you that this film is taking on a life of its own. It's good. And the idea behind it is because, K-pop is the music genre that is pretty big now. K standing for, those of you who do not know, K-pop stands for Korea pop. So it's kind of like Korean pop music, where you have bands like BTS or Blackpink, and they've become quite big. And so the idea behind this film is like, it's sort of like taking the K-pop thing and it's mixed in with Korean mythology, where they say throughout history there have been like groups of women who can stop evil with their voices. Like they sing, and then by singing they do this thing called the honmun, which creates a barrier in the human world and keeps all the demons down, so the demons can't break through this barrier to come in. And you get introduced to this band, Huntrix, who have been put together, and they're now like one of the biggest K-pop things in the world. They're filling stadiums and all that. And while all the fans are going, "Oh, we love you!" Like there's these really funny sequences at the beginning of all the fans just being like absolute devotees and crying and having T-shirts and tattoos and all that kind of stuff. And then you meet the band and you realize what it is that they're going through and all that, and what it is that they're trying to do, and they've gone to this point where they are so close to sealing the human world from the demon world, and they have to release one more song and get one more thing, and it makes this whole thing about when people get together in a stadium, like the goodwill and the human spirit that comes to that. It's what actually strengthens this barrier. So I think it's quite a good, not quite an allegory, but it's quite a good thing to say about, okay, this is what actually happens when we get together. When we get together and you go to a concert, I'm sure you've had it, Shaun, where you go to a concert and you just have this euphoric moment where you think, this is amazing, this is the best thing ever. It is great to be alive, it's great to be a human. And I think that they do something with that in this film. The problem is that there is a demon master called Guima, and Guima doesn't like the idea that they're going to succeed. So he gets some of his demons together to figure it out. And the way that they decide to fight against them is to come up with a boy band. And so they come up with this boy band made of demons who go up there and start making all these songs and become really popular to fight against Huntrix. So this boy band is called Saja Boys. And I'll tell you one of the things about this is essentially a kid's movie. It's a kid's movie where from the word go, when they show you some of the problems, you can see what the resolution is going to be. You can see that this is going to be a thing about, you know what, we just need to accept ourselves for who we are. It is not a spoiler to tell you that is the big thing. That's where we're going in the film. But the songs, Shaun, the songs in this film are excellent. Like when they tell you a song, like there's a song. I'll tell you what, Shaun. After this, you should Google a song called Soda Pop. Soda Pop by the Saja Boys. Because Soda Pop is a song that's just blowing up all over the place. And the song is the whole idea is that the song comes on and it's so catchy that everybody's singing it and people are making memes about it and all that kind of stuff. And the song is catchy as hell. So I would say K-Pop Demon Hunters, it's a basic thing, basic kids movie. You know what's going on, you know where you're going, you know who the good guys are, who the bad guys are, you know what's gonna happen in the end. But the style with which it's done is brilliant. The songs that it uses to move the story along are great, and it also does that thing in musicals that I think that you need to do if you're going to do a musical. When you have a song, the song has to move the plot along. So it's not kind of like, it doesn't do the whole thing where you have a song and then the whole plot stops and then you pick up from right where you end off. Every song in this moves the plot along, and I think it's brilliant, and I think all the songs are good. The songs have been in my head ever since I watched it. I've got my daughter singing it now and everything like that, and I'm happy about that. But K-Pop Demon Hunters, I think it's quite good. I would give it a 4 out of 5 because basic storyline, but everything else is excellent.
So has your kids seen it yet?
Yes, they have. They have.
Yeah, all right. And did they enjoy it?
They did enjoy it. Yeah, they did enjoy it. They did enjoy it. Well, Akuya, I mean, she's just almost 2 now, so she just sort of sits down. If there's things moving on the screen, she's just sort of like transfixed. Yeah. And there is a lot of stuff in this thing. There's a lot of bubblegum stuff in this film that goes on. And I think
you might have to because generally when they love to watch stuff again and again and again and again, don't they? Do you know
they do. And Shaun, I'll tell you, this is how good it is. I would not mind watching K-Pop Demon Hunters again and again and again.
Right.
It is that good.
Check that one then.
It is that good. And I think people who are more into K-pop could probably tell you more about things that they're referring to or how it's going in, and how, like, there's this thing where they hold certain sort of symbols of their bands when they go to a concert. I'm not sure if that's like a K-pop thing, but the people who know about this could tell you more about it. But Shaun, I'll tell you what, I'm not sure if you heard me earlier, but after this, you should Google a song called Soda Pop.
Soda Pop, okay.
Soda Pop by the Saja Boys, because it's this song that's in the film, and they talk about how catchy this song is and how it just gets everybody, even people who don't like this, people can't help but sing along and dance along to this song. And the song is catchy as hell, man. The song is so catchy. I think they've done so well with the music in this film. I think it's really good. So I would give K-Pop Demon Hunters a 4 out of 5.
Cool, brilliant.
And yeah, I think they should have released it in cinemas. I think they would have made. Even though it's a Netflix thing, I think if they released it in cinemas now, I still think that people would go along and dress up and would go and watch this film to have that communal experience to sing along and everything. And I think if Netflix don't do it, I think they're leaving money on the table. But hey.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh, all right. And if you do not like the sound of my voice, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to go again, because I'm going back to cinema. And the only other thing in cinema is something I've seen. This is Freakier Friday. Now, Freakier Friday is okay, so Shaun, you've put up the poster, and Is that the? Oh yeah. That is the poster of Freakier Friday.
That is the one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, I was just looking at Mark Harmon, thinking he doesn't look that much older than he did in the first one. But maybe Mark Harmon has just always looked old. I don't know. So, Freakier Friday, as the title suggests, this is a sequel to Freaky Friday. Freaky Friday is a body swap comedy that was made at the height of Lindsay Lohan's Disney starlet fame. Starred Jamie Lee Curtis as her mom. It was a remake of the Jodie Foster movie from the 70s, 80s. And in that, what happens is a mom and daughter who are always constantly at loggerheads fighting with each other end up swapping places. They end up swapping places, and by swapping bodies for a day, one of them has to pretend to be the other one. The other one has to be. They get to understand a little bit more about each other, and then harmony comes and rules the family in the end. That's the basics. That's the basic premise of this. Freaky Friday is the same again, but this time round, by the time when you meet, because this was made, the first one was made when Lindsay Lohan was a teen, which was probably about 20-something years ago. Because Lindsay Lohan now is playing a 37-year-old. I'm not sure if that's her actual age, but it will be close to it anyway. And this, by the time you meet her, she has her own daughter. She has her own teenage daughter. And so you have the Jamie Lee Curtis as the grandmother, Lindsay Lohan as the mom, and then you have Julia Butters as the granddaughter. But Lindsay Lohan meets a character played by Manny Jacinto called Eric. And they end up having like this whirlwind romance. He has a daughter of his own. The two daughters do not like each other because a Freaky Friday film has to start off with two people who do not like each other. But this time around, instead of just the parents swapping, what happens is that the two older women swap bodies with the two younger women. So Lindsay Lohan swaps places with her daughter Julia Butters, and Jamie Lee Curtis swaps places with Eric's daughter, who is an actress whose name I will look up because I cannot remember. And that's what happens. Now, because this time you have like a four-way swap, I've got to be honest with you. I was sat down there going, okay, who's who? And I think that's one of the problems with the film. It's because if you have two people who swapped, it's easy. It's easy to say, okay, cool, that person is that person, that person is that person. Cool, good, we're good. But with this one, because they were like, okay, fine, now, so the grandmother is now in the British girl's body and the mother's in the and it gets a bit confusing, especially when the four of them are in a scene as to who's in what body, what does this mean, all that kind of stuff. And it just kind of like, yeah, after a while you just have to go with it. It gets better when they split them up and you only have two people with swapped bodies on screen at one point in time. And then the two, and Shaun, tell me when this gets confusing. The two younger people now in the older bodies decide that they don't want the wedding to go ahead. They don't want a wedding between Lindsay Lohan and Manny Jacinto's characters to go ahead. And so they decide, because they are the older ones, they're going to go and cancel everything for the wedding, and they're going to try and do as much as they can to break up the wedding. That's what's happening.
They just don't like the people. They just think they don't like
They don't like each other.
They don't like each other.
They don't like each other. They don't want to be in the same family with each other. And especially because there's talk about when they get married, they're going to move to London. And one of them is a Californian girl who sort of like goes out surfing every morning before school. And she's like, you can't surf in London. It's good. So she doesn't want to move to London. And so, I mean, at the end of the day, everyone's going to understand themselves a little better. It's going to be all happy families. Everything will be resolved. But as I was telling you earlier, Shaun, this film is not made for people who are going to walk into this film with critiques. It's not made for people who are going to walk in going, well, hang on a second, that was all a bit convenient. Yes, that's the point of the film. It is supposed to be convenient.
Could I just ask you, how do they, what is the actual phenomenon that makes them body swap sort of thing?
It's never explained.
Oh, right, okay. Thank you.
As I said, we do not want your critiques. We don't need the mechanism of how it happens. We don't need to know. It just happened. It just happened. They just swapped. They just woke up one morning and they were in each other's bodies. But I think for that being said, it's the thing I was watching when I was watching this, I was thinking two things. That A, it is good to see Lindsay Lohan back. It is good to see Lindsay Lohan back on screen because she had a whole wild child period. She had a whole bit where the tabloids just seemed to want to just report on everything she did, and not everything she did. Some of it looked a bit out there, and but still, I feel like they just had it out for her. I feel that for her.
It's funny, they build people up, don't they? I mean, sports celebrities, everyone else like that. They build people up, and then as soon as there's anything, they like.
Especially especially child stars. It's kind of like, look at you, squeaky ceiling. We're gonna bring you down.
Yeah,
so it was good to see her back, and also Jamie Lee Curtis is having the time of her life. In the last couple of years, Jamie Lee Curtis has just gone to that stage where she's like, look, I'm old enough. I don't care.
Yeah, so, that's it. Halloween, Brady.
Yeah. So she's like, I don't. It's like, I don't care when she was in The Last Showgirl, when she did like, Everything Everywhere All at Once. She's just been like, she's just having fun, and I think Jamie Lee Curtis is a great performer, great person to see on screen. And there's this whole thing where the younger girl in her body decides, oh no, I'm not dressing like this. Oh no, I'm not looking like this. Oh my god, why are there so many cracks on my face? And so goes to get a beauty treatment. And Jamie Lee Curtis' performance after she got the beauty treatment is just kind of like, this woman's she's just brilliant. She's just a crazy professional. Julia Butters, I've always liked ever since I saw her in a TV show called American Housewife. I thought she's been brilliant. She was also, oh, okay, Shaun, this will get you on board. Do you remember Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yes.
You remember that there was a scene with Leonardo DiCaprio where he's on stage on the set of a TV show and is acting opposite a kid.
Yeah.
And the kid leans over to him and goes, "That was the best acting I've ever seen." That kid is Julia Butters.
Oh right, okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, that kid is Julia Butters. And so it's this is a 3-star. It's a 3-star because it's fun. I think especially for people who watched the first Freaky Friday with Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis, I think they'll have big stupid grins on their face throughout the whole film. I think they'll just be like, oh wow, this is just great, just being in the presence of these people. But for me, the two things I walked away going was just like, Jamie Lee Curtis is great, Lindsay Lohan, great to see her back. So 3 stars for Freakier Friday from me. And now we go to the film Tin Soldier, the film that I think, Shaun, you mentioned that you'd seen it a couple of weeks ago.
I did, yeah. I put that as one of our...
I think I was just sort of like, as you go scrolling through Amazon Prime, which I think is how you probably found this film.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, scrolling through Amazon, and then this film pops up, and I was just kind of like, I think Shaun says, and they have the whole thing on Amazon where you can watch a trailer. So I decided to watch a trailer, and immediately afterwards, I was like, Shaun, did you say you watched this? This looks rubbish. It looks rubbish. And so I mean, I don't want to take. So I'm not even sure I want to know the plot of this film because for me, but no, I mean,
you can be super quick with the plot.
Okay, you can be, but okay, this is a film that stars Jamie Foxx. Yeah. It has Robert De Niro. It's got Scott Eastwood. Shaun, what the hell?
What the hell? Yeah, I know. I love. Right. So there's 2 there that I love. I think Eastwood is a bit. He's living on his dad's coattails. I think.
Yeah.
Really,
there is a bit of that. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of that. I've seen him in a couple of things, and he's okay. But De Niro, always class. Jamie Foxx, I love Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
And I've got no idea at all what he was thinking. I've loved the most performances, Ray, Django, everything. Right?
Yeah.
It's been Any Given Sunday. He's one of my terrific actors that I really, really rate and really, really like. But
yeah, I think the weird thing with Jamie Foxx is that I agree with you. He is extremely talented, but I think it is very rare that he finds a vehicle that is worthy of his talents. Yeah, because if you're going to talk about total classic Jamie Lee Foxx. No, Jamie Foxx. If you want to talk about total classic Jamie Foxx films, I think you've mentioned the 3 there. Ray, Any Given Sunday, what was the Django. I think that's about it. I mean, when you think about what else he's been in, the things that you would say are beneath his talent, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But so Karen.
He wasn't so good as Electro, I don't think. Although he was in the remake as Spider-Man, but in the Garfield one, he was
in the Andrew Garfield, the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Nah.
Yeah. So I get De Niro. I mean, he's had a couple of sort of, should we say, iffy performances, but
yes,
I love De Niro. You've got Jamie Foxx. You've got De Niro. I mean, it's like I've got to watch it, and I sort of sat there and I watched it, and I thought, well, I have to watch this now. I have to watch it to the end, even though it's maybe like. I'm huffing and puffing and having my teeth pulled and all stuff like that. So he's like this. Basically, Jamie Foxx is a cult leader. He's not very charismatic cult leader. Come to think of it, he's not even. I don't even know why they'd like him. But anyway,
I mean, honestly, with that hairstyle, he has got the worst hairstyle ever. I mean, I'm sorry, I looked at that, I'm like, there's no way I'm following a man who has that on his head, because it's obviously not his hair. What the hell is it?
I mean, I'm thinking, I very rarely look at reviews and stuff all like that, because I'm not that sort of person, but I did look at reviews for this one, because I just thought it is, because we've had this discussion before, and I think it's a good discussion, is that I'm pretty sure they were just sort of did it for the bucks. Do you know what I mean? It seems that some of these streaming films, we've spoken about it before, where they just throw money at it. Good film, bad film, it don't matter. They just throw money at it.
Yeah. So read some of the reviews. Let's have some of the reviews let's have
some of the reviews. I'm going to give you one here. It was that bad I vomited. I even rang my wife, who I hate, and I said, "Don't watch this, as I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy." She thanked me. So yeah, what was the other one I read? So, what a waste of talent. I was wondering how these great actors accepted to do this low-budget movie. I guess they just did it for the money, not for the art. Because believe me, it's not art at all. It's a complete flop. So yeah.
Because this is a 2025 film. It was released this year.
Yeah, I know. This is beyond terrible, so bad. The whole thing is so ridiculous. How did it ever get made?
Yeah, and that is the big question. And I was really hoping that Holly would be here, because Holly works in the world of like consultants and everything like that. And she said it's probably because of a tax break. And I'm like, okay, you have to explain this tax break to me. So it is. Wait, you end up getting more money by making a terrible film? I mean, I don't understand that. And because, they say it's a low-budget film. And sure enough, Jamie Foxx and Robert De Niro, they might not be the stars that they once were. But still, I'm pretty sure they're not cheap. I'm pretty sure they're not hanging out the job center waiting for someone to offer them a film to be in. So that means when you say low-budget film, you're still spending a lot of money to get Jamie Foxx and Robert De Niro in the film. And if you're going to put money to something to get tax break, why don't put that money in a good film? Why not spend some money on the script? I'm sure you get money back from that. But I don't understand how these films get made. I just don't. The trailer, you watch the trailer and you're like, this is terrible. They have put no effort into this thing. And I don't blame Jamie Foxx or Robert De Niro. I do not blame them, because I definitely don't blame Scott Eastwood. I mean, take the money you can get. So I just don't understand the bigger people, the studio, the financiers, the backers who put money into this. This film is never going to make any money by being a film. It's never going to make any money. Why on earth are you paying what must be the going rate to Jamie Foxx and Robert De Niro to get them in the film when it's never going to make any money? And
that's bizarre, isn't it?
It's bizarre. And if it is a tax break, how the heck? How does that work?
You think they'd make something decent, wouldn't you, as a tax break?
Yeah, but not even that. I mean, not even that. How do you end up getting more money by making something that's going to be a flop? I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand. Someone needs to make it make sense to me. But anyway,
they've all got all these reviews. It's all 1 star, so it's all like. I echo what everyone else says. Maybe there's a reason Jamie Foxx got sick doing this huge. Pointless garbage. Throw in some cheaply made exotic cave scenes. Some BS philosophical stuff and some smoke bombs.
Oh God!
It is awful. It is. It really is bad. So, I'm afraid all I can do is give this one a 1 star.
One. So, I want to know.
Out of pity, really. Out of pity, I think.
If there's anybody who understands how these films are profitable for somebody somewhere, please explain to me, because I don't understand how putting money into crap works for you. I just don't understand it. But anyway, so all that's left to ask, Shaun, is who do you think has won?
Well, I'm pretty sure Cinema's won this week. I'm pretty sure it's romped it this week for a change, because my 1 star is, even though the Demon Pop thing was quite good.
4, yeah, KPop Demon Hunters. Well, the thing about it, right, is if you're going to keep going to Prime Video and finding this random crap, that's one way of making sure that cinema always wins. but honestly, because last week we had War of the Worlds, this week we have this.
Yeah. I see they've got all the they've got a lot of Tarantino movies on Prime at the moment. So
have they?
Yeah, I actually watched Jackie Brown again last night because I love that. I think that's my, out of the Tarantino ones, it's probably my favourite. I know some people it's not, but I really like Jackie Brown. I could watch that all the time.
It is probably his most grown-up film.
Yeah, so I'll probably... And I've been watching some really good stuff on YouTube as well, which is I quite like the shorts of people talking about and on about the Jamie Foxx Denzel Washington one. Have you seen that bit?
No. Oh, the one where they're
Jamie talking
Foxx,
to each other. He goes,
where Jamie Foxx does an impression of Denzel Washington to Denzel Washington.
Yeah. There's also a clip I've seen which was Denzel and the people. It must have been. I'm trying to think what film it was. I didn't say the film. It might have been Fences or something like that. But it was to do with a cultural reference. He said it's not colour. It's cultural references. It says so Spielberg that made Schindler's List, Scorsese made Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Made this film, and he said, Spielberg probably could have made Goodfellas, but it wouldn't have had the same.
Yeah.
Connotations, and Scorsese probably could have done a reasonable job with Schindler's List, but and he was saying, and he said something about the hot comb on a Sunday morning. He said that you can't. So I mean that was some of those shorts, some of those little clips, and then there's stuff about Michael Caine and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I'm sort of addicted to the short stuff. It does work.
Which is why we make... Oh, thank you for the segue, Shaun. Which is why we make shorts and put them on our YouTube channel. Yeah. So if you want to see some of our shorts and see some of the things that we talk about and some of the things that we pick out, or let's say, for instance, you're not ready to sit down and listen to us bang for 10 minutes about weapons, you might just want to sort of go in there and find a snippet of us saying something about it. You can find us on our YouTube channel, Netflix vs. Cinema, and you can also find us on Instagram, Netflix vs. Cinema Pod. And find us on those things, see those things, and then get in touch and let us know what you thought about the things that we watched. Do you think Weapons is a masterpiece as well? Do you think Freakier Friday is actually the 5-star thing that was released this week? Get in touch with us. Let us know. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on podcast platforms anywhere you can. But until next week, when we will find something else to watch, I do not know. I'm just flying by the seat of my pants here. It is a goodbye from me.
And it's a goodbye from me.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.